many congratulations on the new tie-up. So this was something we'd not expected. That IITs would actually go in a collaboration. It's really a new thing which was done during the G20 summit. So my first question to you would be that IIT, as IIT Kanpur's head, you'd be chairing this new Global Challenges Institute, which will be come up with the American Association of American Universities. So, what made IIT Kanpur the first choice for this? And could you please tell us about the journey so far?
Yeah. So I think, first of all, let me tell you that for this initiative, actually, I am representing all higher educational institutions. And it is not just the IIT Kanpur. So although I have been asked to co-chair, but I'm really doing it on behalf of not only just IITs, but all higher educational institutions. So I think yeah. So I think the whole journey basically is that there have been multiple discussions between the US and India to collaborate on critical and emerging technologies. That is, some of them are like semiconductors, clean energy, sustainable agriculture, AI, quantum science. And in these collaborations, of course, these collaborations are at various levels. They are between government agencies, they are between industries, and then, between the academic institutions. So the Ministry of Education, which is actually representing all higher education institutions, they had set up a task force, which I was chairing. And then we held discussions with Association of American Universities, which was representing, all American universities and institutes. So if you know that in the June when our Prime Minister had visited the US, an intent to set up such an institute was announced in June. And after the June, we have been holding discussions with Association of American Universities to give a shape to this effect. And now, as you know, that we have signed an MOU to set up these institutes. So, so I think we want to be all inclusive, not just limited to IITs, but the basic idea is to collaborate on these critical and emerging technologies and draw expertise from any institutions or any researcher or faculty member who has expertise in this area and who is expert in that area.
So you mean that it started the collab, this started in June, but you must have been speaking to the American universities much before that, right?
Yeah. See, the thing is, like all IITs, including IIT Kanpur, we have been having, we have been having a lot of collaborations with American universities. In fact, IIT Kanpur has a history of getting initiated way back in early 60s, when under Kanpur Indo-American program. Several US universities collaborated with IIT Kanpur. So all IITs are having collaborations at faculty to faculty level or at institutional level. So, for example, IIT Kanpur is having a dual PhD degree program with New York University. So IIT Bombay also is having such a dual PhD degree program with some universities. So the idea of setting up this Indo-US Global Challenge Institute was really to take these initiatives to the next level and do it on a much larger scale, consolidate all those collaborations and work in a partnership mode that can have a global impact.
Oh, okay. So it'll be actually to address, to create technologies or tech which can actually handle global challenges,
Yeah.
which is the name of the institute at the
Yes,
moment.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, basic idea is that in each of these themes, we can have a multi-institution, project, multi-institutions, multi-faculty projects, which can really work on cutting-edge problems, which can solve, some of the cutting-edge problems and have a global impact in terms of frontline research and technology development.
Right, sir. So how will this institute work? Can you tell us how will it
Yeah.
start functioning?
Yeah, so right now, what we have envisaged is that, first of all, this will be like more like a virtual network of partner universities. So there may be so the institute will have a governing council. So this governing council will have members from both the US side and the India side. So from the India side, the government has nominated me to be the co-chair, but there will be a co-chair from the US side also. Uh, in the next few months, we will deliberate on, so these five vertical themes that we have identified: sustainable agriculture, clean energy, health and pandemic preparedness, advanced materials, telecommunications, AI, quantum science. So in each of these, the idea is that we may identify some lead institutes from both sides, so which can act as the hub, and then many other institutions can act as the spokes of that. And then they have to these institutions, researchers have to deliberate and write research proposals, and then those research projects can get funded both from the US and the India sides. So I think that is right now, as you would have seen it in the joint declaration, $10 million of seed fund have been earmarked. But that is just a seed fund that is to kickstart the activities. And once the actual research projects with deliverables and milestones and other things are formulated in each of these themes, let's say energy or health or something, then further research fundings will be needed.
I see. So this institute will basically function virtually, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there may be a secretariat or a program management office. So, for example, in India, we may have such an office in Delhi or somewhere that we will establish. And in US, the secretariat, maybe, the Association of American Universities, they have an office in Washington, D.C. So that may, but otherwise it will be a virtual in the sense that obviously the research will be done by faculty members and PhD students and postdoctoral fellows of the Indian universities, Indian institutions, and US universities. So they will be working in their respective labs.
I see. So is there a procedure to to name lead institutes in this direction?
No, there is no procedure. I think we will now have a meeting of our governing council of this after, and then, we will identify institutes which have strength in those areas, which have critical mass of researchers. So there is really as such, but as I said, this is not just restricted to IITs or, we will actually draw whosoever are experts, they have to be called from both sides. Because I think this collaboration we really want to make, we really want to have an impact, and this is in that sense, both the government, both the Indian and the US governments are really looking forward to a very strong research partnerships, and that can happen only if the best of the minds from both sides are involved.
So do you have anyone in mind? Any research institutes like there's ISC which is very good in research.
Yeah. So we will be involving, in fact, IITs are there, Indian Institute of Sciences is there, ICERs are there.
Right.
Then, triple ITs are also there. So N18Vs are there. Even other universities are also there, like Delhi University, Bombay University, JNU. So I think it will be inclusive of all. Depending upon the project and the research area. Yeah. So I think it will really depend upon that.
So is there a timeline to when this will start functioning, and when will you have the first meeting of your the governing
Yeah.
council?
So yeah, I mean, we are in the discussion when to have the first meeting, but obviously, we want to have it very soon. And I'm hoping that in the next 3 months or so, we can get, some research projects going at some level. And this collaboration, we are expecting that will also enable the mobility of the PhD students and particularly postdoctoral fellows. So, for example, our PhD students can go and work in the labs of the US universities, and even their students can come. And similarly, our postdoctoral fellows also can find opportunities to work in some of the cutting edge areas in the leading research labs. So this will also enable that mobility.
So I have a question here. So, though there's good research happening in many of our top institutes, it's said that not many students come forward for research because they want to get into all those top jobs that, of course, IITs, once you get into it, you get through the placements, and only a really handful of them actually want to do research. And then they too also go out to foreign universities, and then at home we have an issue with we don't have many academics who would want to get into teaching. So how will this kind of collaboration foster this, like will it help
Yeah.
the research culture, boost the research culture? That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah. So yes, I mean, it is a general problem today that the students are not coming for the PhD programs, and this is a problem not just in IITs or other institutions in India, but even in the US, even in the US universities, what we are hoping is that when we have this dual PhD degree program. So, for example, under this dual PhD degree program, we are hoping that students will spend part of the time in Indian institutes and part of the time in American university. So, for example, IIT Kanpur has a dual PhD degree program. In fact, we recently signed to expand that with New York University. So, part of the time the students spend in IIT Kanpur and part of the time they spend in New York University. And they get degrees from both of them, New York University as well as IIT Kanpur.
Okay.
So now, we feel that this is a win-win situation for both, because it doesn't happen that good students, go to US universities to do their PhDs, and we don't get that advantage. But US universities also get good students. So I think this collaboration in that sense will help, nurturing the talents. But of course, we have to motivate. That is a separate problem, that we have to motivate bright students to come to the research instead of taking up jobs in some finance or some other sector. So I think that is a separate issue. We have to inspire and motivate young students to join the PhD program. And I think all IITs and all institutions are doing efforts in that directions.
So you think that this will actually help boost this culture and maybe create a new culture maybe of
yes. And I think it will also help the this postdoctoral fellowship mobility will also strengthen our postdoctoral fellow program.
So in of course, India has been doing a lot of new new tech, emerging tech, but this kind of a tie-up with one of the developed nations, which is anyways leading in so many other areas. How will this help India? And it's this stream of all these new top institutes. So is it going to help India in many ways? That's an important thing.
So I think see, today the research has become interdisciplinary, and it is also in some of the areas that it's transcending global boundaries. So such kind of multi-institution partnership, which goes not only beyond my institution, let's say IIT Kanpur, but multi-institutions and multi-country partnerships, is really necessary to solve some of the complex problems in these emerging areas. So I would say that it would strengthen, the research partnerships in that sense. As far as, our institutions are concerned, even, we have developed now significant strength in the last, several years in many areas where even, IITs and Indian institutions have developed sufficient expertise. So we are really looking for this partnership on an equal basis on really, mutually beneficial terms. So it benefits us as well as it benefits them. And we believe that this multi-institution partnership today, in the today's context, is very much needed to solve the cutting-edge complex problems. I mean, this cannot be today. It cannot be solved by one single US university or one single Indian institutions. That requires, collaborations.
So could you,
yeah.
sorry, sorry.
No, I was saying it is not therefore in that sense that we are partnering with the developed country or something. They also see a benefit in partnering with us because we have also developed expertise in many of the areas now.
Of course, yes. Yeah. We are leading in many areas. So amongst these, these 5 verticals which have been identified broadly, like broader areas, are there any, subjects that you've identified for initial projects?
Yeah. So I think we would live energy definitely to be one major focus areas, and health is another, and advanced materials. So I think some of these are we will look also, as you know, that separately. So one is this Indo-US Global Challenge Institute is between universities, but there are partnerships also happening, for example, in the area of telecom, like 6G, because even in this joint declaration, Bharat 6G Alliance has signed MOU with NextG Alliance. So even as a part of this 6G, several of the IITs are involved. For example, IIT Kanpur, IIT Bombay, IIT Madras, IIT Hyderabad. So they are all involved. So I feel that in some of these areas, particularly telecom or energy or health, there may be a partnership at the industry level as well.
Okay. I see. So, can you also please just tell, like, what are India's strengths in terms of research? Which are areas which, we are leading in, where we can, will be contributing?
Yeah. So I think, as you know, that in our institutions, we have I think some of the things we have developed is in the area of, for example, cybersecurity. We are developing expertise. India has, in many Indian institutions, we have also developed a strong expertise in the telecom area. In many of these IITs, we have done, we developed this 5G India stack, which is now being licensed, and now we are also contributing to global standardizations in beyond 5G, 6G areas, and that is something definitely I would say that we have strong expertise, and in some of the other critical techniques, particularly in the area of bio and medtech, many of our institutions have started now doing very cutting-edge research, and I feel that we will be able to contribute, if we are able to sufficiently, provide sufficient resources for these things.
I see. Sir, could you tell us how students in India can start courses here? Is there a way of how students can actually, will there be any degrees given by this institute? Will there be any? No.
This institute, as I said, will not give any degree.
Okay.
This institute will really depend upon, degrees given by the partner universities, like, IIT Kanpur or IIT Bombay or IIT Madras and, other partner universities. So this institute will not be, but this institute will facilitate such program and collaborations.
Sir, so it's can you please clarify a bit, give some clarity on what how students can go up to this? Is it only research students who
No,
can
no, no, no.
go up?
No, I think the way in which it will work is that, as I mentioned, that in these 5 themes areas, once the research programs are identified and the partners are identified, then obviously the faculty members working and leading those programs, they will have, the PhD students and the postdoctoral fellows working with them, and that's how it will flow through.
Okay, so it'll depend project to project, and
Yes.
they'll be picking students for
yes,
right, like who's
Yeah.
suited for which
yes,
project,
absolutely.
and how many of them.
Yes. Yeah, and also the number of PhD students. Obviously, it will be dependent upon each of the specific problems on which the faculty would be working.
So one last question I want to ask is, Indian like all other top AGIs here have been trying to get foreign faculty, here in India to teach, but it's it's not happening the way we would like it to be. So there's always an issue with foreign faculty coming down, or wanting to teach here. So will this kind of collaboration will be facilitating this more?
Yeah. I think through this collaboration, we are exactly focusing on faculty mobility. So
Faculty
we can
mobility.
have the faculty members and researchers, because they will be the collaborators, right? I mean, so they can also be the visiting professors and visiting faculty members, and they can spend extended time here, maybe a semester or even in a year they can spend. And they can not only work on this collaborative research project with faculty members, but can contribute in giving lectures and teaching as well.
I see. So will they be visiting faculty?
Yes. So as a part of this program, obviously there will be visiting faculty, visiting postdocs, and that will be enabled.
But they'll have an extended, like it'll not be just a few months. It can be an extended kind of
that depends. I mean, as I mentioned, that it depends upon the project and the collaborations. It can extend.
I see. Sir, is IIT Kanpur also planning to launch any new, courses within the institute because this thing is starting? Like pandemic preparedness is one of the verticals. So
Yeah. So I know in IIT Kanpur we have already initiated, setting up a medical school on the campus.
Oh, okay.
So we, of course, this will not be an undergraduate medical science program. We are not giving any MBBS or MD degree, but we believe that next generation research in healthcare is happening more and more at the intersection of engineering and medicine. And that is the reason, we believe that an engineering in medicine kind of a program, which is interdisciplinary, would be desirable. So we are actually establishing a medical school on the campus. So I think
So will you be hiring medical,
yes,
like faculty to teach some courses here?
Yes.
So this is to develop tech to help.
Yes. Yeah.
So when will it start?
So I think we are now establishing the infrastructure, and we receive substantial donations from our alumni and corporates. So Rakesh Gangwal, is our alumnus. So in fact, it will be called Gangwal School of Medical Sciences and Technology. So I think in another 2 years, it will be fully operational.
And it'll have like full-fledged medical courses, or just for?
No, it will. No, it won't have the medical, MD or MS or MBBS degrees right now. But we are more focusing on the research and center of excellence. We will also have our own super specialty hospital, a small hospital. So we will have some clinical faculty and doctors also as faculty.
So is there a procedure already? How will they be, admitted? Like how?
Yeah. So we are working on that. I think there is a work in. Yeah.
So those details are still to be worked out.
Yeah.
And you'll have to have some medical faculty.
Yes, absolutely.
I see. Thank you so much, sir, for your very valuable insights and for telling us the new projects. I hope to keep in touch with you.
Sure.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thanks.